Hi everyone, I shall now go through a walkthrough on the if1_6. You can find this question on page 3-36 of your textbook. Okay, the first thing to do is to add the C program structure, which include the header files and the main function, which is your C program entry point. So we shall go through. I have the Visual Studio startup. I have also the if1_6.c project and the code set up. So the first thing to do is to include the two header file. We also include the max header file. Even if you do not need it, it's no harm. Just include it in your program. Next, we should do the entry point, which is the void, main void. Okay, that should suffice. Okay, next to do is, if you have followed through, do it the same thing on your own PC. Pause this video and key in the code now. Next, you get your textbook and flip to page 3-36 and look at dialog 1 over here. Make a copy in the next slide here. So in dialog 1, this is your required output. Copy this thing in as a print function. I'll do it now. Okay, let's go back to Visual Studio. Type in the printf function. Since there are 4 lines of text in dialog 1, we shall copy this statement 4 times. Okay, next we will insert the text into it. Okay, the second line. Third and the final line. Okay. Oops. And the final line. Okay. You run this program to make sure everything is working correctly. Yeah, everything looks good. Okay. Next. Now you can pause this program and key it into your own system. You can use Ctrl+C for copy and Ctrl+V to paste to help you in your program. Next, we should convert those with underline to using scanf function to replace it. Here the two values are 38 and 6. So go back to Visual Studio again. We should replace this and this function with scanf. So scanf percentage F, and we use hours work. Okay. And don't forget the ampersand sign for scanf. This is a quite common mistake. And here we have a curly line. It says that we need to declare this variable. Okay. Forget the hours and the work. Okay, I should do. And we will remove this line. For the scanf, we will also remove the /n, because the scanf will introduce a carriage return as well, because the one that you key in actually. Okay, next we do it for the 6, the pay rate. So we do the scanf and key in pay rate. Right. Similarly, we need to declare the variable here. Okay. And don't forget the ampersand sign. Okay, we run this program to check. So the two values are 38 and 6. Okay. Yeah, okay. So there's a 6 printed out because forgot to delete this value away. Okay. Yep. $38 and 6. Okay, I should do. Alright. Okay. So we have done this, and don't forget the ampersand sign for scanf. Okay, now you can pause the video and key the code into your PC. Okay, after you have done that, we will look at the calculation and output. Over here is the last statement that is the total pay. Okay, let's do that in the Visual Studio. Yeah. So the total pay is equals to the hours work and the multiply by the pay rate. Okay. So we add in the variable total, or declare the variable total, and we have modified this to the total. You need to keep the dollar sign because the dollar sign is what need to be printed out as well. So total, and we can run the program again. 38 and 6. Okay. At this point of time, we check that the value is correct. We can do the formatting, which is 2 decimal place. Run this again. We have 38 and 6. Okay, everything looks fine. So next thing we look at is, yes, do not do your formatting after you get the correct output. Okay, so pause your video and modify your code on your PC. Okay, after this we will introduce the if statement. So go back to your textbook and look at your first paragraph, and here basically it says that there's an overtime pay if your amount, if the number of hours worked per week is more than 40 hours. So what we do here, we insert the if condition. If 40 if this condition is true, if the hours is less than 40, because we do not have OT, so there's no OT pay, and which is less than or equals to 40. So we go back to our code, we insert the if statement there. So this is the if statement. So one thing you need to make sure is that this must be initialized beforehand before we can use the if statement. Otherwise, this variable your compiler will complain that this variable is not initialized. So since the scanf have initialized it, we will do the if statement after this scanf statement. After this scanf statement on the hours work. So we'll put the if statement here. If hours work is less than or equals to 40. Okay. And we will cut Control X to cut this block and Control V to copy it over. Okay, what happened to this WOR? Okay. Alright. So we run the program again, and since 38 is less than 40, so there should be no overtime pay. Okay. Right, pause the video now and key in the code. Okay, the next thing to do is to insert the else statement. So the else statement is anything other than the if statement. So usually what I do is I copy the if statement and change this condition. So here, if you compare the dialog box, okay, here the dialog 3, the difference is the last 3 statement. It shows the 40 hours pay and the overtime pay, and the sum of these two to get the total pay. Okay, let's do that. Okay, so the first thing to do is I copy this, paste it over here. Okay, and I will change this statement to else. I change it to else, and I put a comment over it, then change this condition to reflect the else statement. So this is the condition. So if it's anything, if hours work is greater than 40, you will go to here. So remember, we have these 3 statements. We have these 3 statements to print out. So we'll do 3 print statement now. Copy this, Control C to copy, and Control V to paste. Okay, so these 3 statements I'll print it out now. Okay, now I shall run the program and see what happens. Yep, for that we will have 43. Okay, you notice that the pay rate is not us, so we need to rectify that. So what we do is to copy this over this out of the block, so that it would be run for both if and else statement. The second way which I'm doing now would be to copy it into the else block. Okay. So you can use either way, but this is a more flexible way, but it uses extra code. So let's run this again. You have 43 and 6. Okay, that should do the trick. Okay, next we will modify this as per the one we do in front. So we have a pay rate here, so we need to calculate the first 40 hours, okay, which is 40 multiplied by the pay rate. Okay, and since we introduce the first 40, so we have to add to declare the first 40 variable, and we will change this to percentage F, and here to first 40. Okay, next we will calculate the overtime, which is equals to the hours worked minus away 40. Okay, this is the anything more than 40, and we will multiply by the pay rate and multiply by 1.5 for overtime pay. Okay. Okay, we need to introduce the variable, declare this variable, and change this to overtime. Okay, so we run this again to make sure everything is okay. So we have 43 and 6. Okay, so since the result is correct, we should now format the output. So 0.2, some change to 0.2. Okay, and then we will calculate the total. See, we don't have curly line because total was already declared previously. So is equals to the first 40 plus the overtime pay. Same thing here, we change this to percentage F, and this to total. Okay. Alright, so okay, 43 and 6. Yep. And we'll do the formatting now. 0.2. Okay, and we'll run it. 43 and 6. Okay, I think it's alright. So we just test out the second dialog box. So second one is 40 and 6. So we have 240. Oh, sorry, that one is 550. So here is 40 and 550. Okay, so everything is okay. Right, so we have inserted the else statement, and this is what we do. This is what we have added in. So you can pause this video and modify your code on your PC now. So here is your the overall code, the top part of the code, including the if statement, and this is the final part of the code, the else part of the code. So that's all. Bye.